G'day punters, welcome back. So today we're doing something a little bit different. So this is we're doing an NRL Fantasy episode. So there'll be a decent chunk of our listeners that play NRL Fantasy every year. This is one of the big fantasy competitions, and we are going to be doing this as much as possible for both the Super Rugby and the NRL Fantasy. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over um, three of our cheaper guys that we'd start with, three of our kind of mid-priced guys we'd start with, and three of the kind of the gun kind of keepers that we'd start with. If you guys were going to play NRL Fantasy this year, so um, Willie, you're a massive fan of NRL Fantasy, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, it's just one of those things where every weekend you're watching the stats go up, aren't you? Like you're seeing looking out for the for the tackle breaks and the line breaks while the game's going on. So yeah, let's hope Go Dozer goes pretty well this year.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you that haven't played it before and if you're keen to get into it, so pretty much I mean the kind of general idea of the NRL fantasy is that it's all about buying the players at the right time. So essentially you want to buy cheap guys that are going to make a lot of money and go up in value so that by the end of the season you don't have to actually worry about the salary cap and you can just have the best team possible and just pick guys
Yeah,
and
so
not
you can
worry
just
about
be the
money.
Roosters. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
By the end
Pretty
of the
much.
season, you just want to be the Roosters and just
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
have all
100%.
starters, all guns.
Yeah, yeah. So what we're doing today is obviously the cheap guys that we're going to be talking about are guys that we think you should start with pretty much because they're going to make a lot of money, and then mid-range guys as well. These are guys that we think are at a cheaper price than what they probably should be, and then so if you were to start with them and then maybe sell them, you'll make a bit of money. And then the expensive guys that we're going to talk about are guys that we think you should just have to help you get a consistent score from the very start, and guys that you're probably not going to have to worry about selling due to them losing money or not performing and things like that. So, but then hope most of you that are listening probably have played it many times before, so we'll rip in shortly. Before we do that, we do have some fan mail, which I think is based um, on our NRL preview show that we did last week. So, Willie, did you want me to read that fan mail, or do you want to do it?
Yeah, that's all you.
So, this is from Sione in Auckland. He said, "Your league takes a shit. Stick to dumb cricket. Dry." You want to respond?
Thank you, CEO from Auckland. That's really made my day, and damn, that's really tempting to put us in our keep us in our own lane and stay off your square.
Yeah,
Bet you're a Mount Smart resident, aren't you? You probably live just a couple of blocks away, aren't you? But yeah. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, Go Media Stadium. How rude
yeah.
of me. But yeah.
But anyway, he hasn't
What are your
actually.
thoughts on that?
Well, he hasn't actually told us what we've said wrong. Like, obviously, we were just going over our table, but he hasn't kind of said this team should have been in the top eight or you had this team too low or high. He's just kind of said that we
Mm.
don't know what we're doing and we're shit. So, um,
So he's definitely a Warriors fan, is what you're saying?
I hope not. But yeah, there's probably a good chance. Anyway, so thanks to that, Sione. As we say, we don't mind. We'll read out any fan mail, even if it is quite negative and aimed at us. Sweet. So, you want me to go first?
Yeah, you start us off.
Alrighty, so the three cheap guys that I've got here that I think people should look at starting with. The first one I've got is Tyrone Munro. So he's 300k. If you listen to the NRL preview show that we did last week, I actually had this guy getting top try scorer for the season. So I think he's going to be the beneficiary of the Bunnies' attack being much better this year, kind of back to what it used to be. And I can just see him getting a lot of tries and therefore line breaks and tackle busts and things like that. So I think at 300k, he's a very good option. Hard to know whether he will be like a keeper at the end of the season, but I think definitely someone that will make a hell of a lot of money if that's what he's going to start at. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. He is kind of one that I've been eyeing up as well for like similar reasons, like you say. I think with no AJ on the left and Bunnies love that swinging left shape, so
Yeah.
I'd assume he'd be put there and reap the rewards of all their success.
Yeah, catching a lot of balls from old Latrell and Cody Walker. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, and then the second one I've got is Jack Bird, who's 362k, and he can put him in two positions, so edge and center. So Jack Bird, for those of you that have played NRL Fantasy before, like he used to be one of the guns, like one of the main guys that you would have in that center position or edge position. Um, but obviously hasn't played as much lately. He's gone to the Tigers, so gone to a new team. I can just see him having quite a big role at the Tigers, and kind of if he can start particularly on an edge, but even if he is like yeah, particularly on an edge or through the middle even, I can just see him racking up a lot of tackles, getting a few offloads. He likes to throw a few offloads and just potentially making like 300 to 350k. So yeah, I think he's someone that everyone should probably be starting with. What do you reckon?
Yeah, nah, not gonna go too much more into it. I think you summed it up well. He's on my radar for sure. I think the dual position as well really sets him apart. So
Mm,
I think for that price, he's definitely going to get some good game time as well. So
yeah. Sweet. And then my last one is one from your favorite team, the Roosters. I have gone Sandon Smith.
stand down, yeah,
Yeah, I
stand
think
down.
so. This guy will be starting in the halves, and the fact that he's pretty much the cheapest price you can get a player. So 250k for a guy that's going to be starting. He doesn't even have to be that good, and he'll make at least 200k. So it's not that I think he's a great player or anything like that, but I can still see him making 300k. So that's a good way to make some early money. Those three guys. You got three?
Yeah, yeah. First, I've gone for Mamazelis, Peter Mamazelis
Mm,
from the Rabbits. I guess no Cookie there anymore, so expect his minutes to increase quite a bit. So I think for 319k, I think it is. Yeah, doing pretty well there. His price should um definitely shoot up, and with hookers like big minutes, just tackles. Like they don't even have to be good. If you're just getting 40 tackles a game, and that's not even high for a hooker, like
yeah.
yeah, yeah, no,
Oh
you're
no.
pretty happy with that.
Yeah, oh, 100%. Yeah, no, he's what I've got my eye on as well. Like, yeah, you can't like a starting hooker at anything under 400k is just you pretty much have to.
Yeah.
Especially in a good team like that. Yeah, he'll be making heaps of tackles. And sorry, just to go off topic a little bit, you're obviously a quarter Greek. Was that part of the thinking about putting him in your side, or?
No, I'm actually not Greek. I've just done a bit of a European summer, so I like eating gyros or whatever it is right now instead of kebabs. So like maybe that's what you're seeing in me right now, but nah,
Oh,
nah,
sorry. Yeah, I thought you
absolutely
were just
not.
looking a bit Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, absolutely not. No, just a bit of tan, that's all.
yeah.
Next I've gone for I don't know who it's gonna be, but either Isaac Yongi, or I think it's Joash Papali for the Eels. Whoever's gonna out of those two is gonna be starting fullback. I
Yeah.
think either one of those is gonna be a no-brainer, like both under 350k, like I don't know. I think it's just fullbacks are pretty exciting. Especially when they're cheap, like you can't go wrong with that. They're always going to get run meters, especially on a team like that where you can run out the back of shape, like a bit more athletic than Gutho ever was. So probably get a few more line breaks, even though, yeah, I don't know. That's my take. Either one of those two.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, again, you just got to be keeping an eye on which one actually gets it though, not just picking one and then just not checking your team for 6 weeks. But um, yeah, it's a hard one though because I guess like in previous years there's been cases like Keanu Kinney at the start of last year who was
Mm,
shit at the start, and sometimes it can take a while, but then
yeah,
everyone that jumped back on Kinney when he got a second go was like he was like a keeper and like averaging like 65. So hopefully
yeah,
they start strong and then people can kind of just. But even if they don't, sometimes you just have to pick whoever gets it and then just kind of ride them for a bit. Eh? So
exactly.
mm,
Yeah, and then what's your price range? Did you say go up to kind of like 400?
yeah,
Under 400 for these. I'm actually going for a real dirty one. I reckon he's going to have a big season for the Broncos, and that's Moser, Blakey Moser. I
mm,
reckon, I reckon that Billy Walters track now that Kevy's gone. I think he's going to get more of a starting spot under Madge. I think he's going to get more time in the saddle. Like I think the Broncos can tell that he's touted as their nine, so he's going to get more of a like step up this season. He dipped the toe in last year. I don't know. I reckon even though he's a dirty looking prick and he should probably be on the world surfing tour, or fucking Castle Street doing fucking gear every weekend. But
mm.
Yeah, no, I'm backing him for a big year for that price. 337K. It's not too bad either.
Yeah, no, I hadn't thought about him, but you're right. If he gets the minutes, then just depends what Mad drops for, I guess. But yeah, if he gets the minutes,
Mm,
then yeah,
yeah.
you're quite right. All right, my mid ranges. So again, these are the guys that we think are they're a little bit more expensive than those cheap guys, but we think there's still quite a lot of value in having these guys from the start. So the first one for me is Aaron Clark at 482K. So he's obviously got the benefit of having two positions as well. So he's got hooker and mid. I just think that there's a good chance he gets the 13 shirt for the Warriors with Tohu Harris retiring. And he's shown while he's been at the Titans that anytime he gets 60 minutes plus, he averages pretty
Mm,
close to 60. So, or
yeah.
yeah, in the 50 range. So I think he could be someone that ends up, averaging 50 to 55 if he starts, and if he does that, he'll make about 300K. Um, Thoughts there?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think a shame that Tohu and his knee had to move on, but yeah,
Mm.
no, he's definitely in line for these just to sweep up all those minutes. So like you say, he's looking at some big points this year, I reckon.
Yeah. And even if he doesn't start though, like I can still see a world in which he's getting pretty good minutes, like
Mm,
with almost playing that Jazz Tavanga role. But you got Wade Egan who's always going to be injured, and I can just see him playing like maybe a 60 or 55 minutes off the bench anyway. So just depends what they go for, but yeah.
yeah.
My second one, I really like this one. Nafahu White at 415K, mid and edge as well, so he covers two positions. So this guy's obviously quite cheap because in previous years he hasn't had a massive role at the Roosters because they've had so many big name forwards. But this guy I reckon is an absolute gun, and I think he's shown as well when he gets good game time, he can score real well. He was unreal for the Kiwis end of last year. And yeah, I can just again 60 plus minutes a game. I reckon he's averaging 50.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I think, like you say, their pack being depleted this year, I think he's definitely in line for some much bigger minutes. Like no Warrior Hargreaves, no Terrell May. He's definitely in line, and I think, um, like you say, he is improving all the way through last year. So I think now he's definitely going to get rewarded for that.
Yeah, for sure. And then my last one. This is a bit of a hot take to some degree, I reckon. But I've actually gone Jermaine Sakor. Um,
Oh,
and the
Essa
re
Arco.
yeah, Isako, sorry. So
Oh,
yeah,
just whoever that Warriors commentator that says it, who just
yeah,
it's Arco, like he's just a fucking absolute knob.
yeah,
Overdoes it all the time. I don't know. That's probably actually how you say it, but
yeah.
fair enough.
Anyway, so he is 510K. He's only got wing fullback. So just the one position, but I like him because he kicks goals. So he's a really good goal kicker. Scores a heap of tries. And I think the Dolphins will be quite good this year. So I guess there's three reasons there. So if he gets a few tries, he's obviously going to be kicking conversions every game. And yeah, I just see them being a potentially high scoring team, like they have been really the whole time they've existed. Think he's not a bad option. He'll obviously have games where he gets maybe only a 25 or a 30, but he'll also have
Mm.
games where he can be a bit of a pod and maybe get a 70 for you. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I reckon that's a good shout. Wasn't actually really on my radar,
Hmm.
but yeah, I think you're back in the fish this year, aren't you? So they might.
I am
So
back
if
in the
he's
fish this
kicking
year.
them
Yeah.
goals, yeah, and he might be on the end of a few more tries. So yeah, no, I completely get you there.
Hmm.
All right, shall I give you my couple then?
Please.
I've actually gone for a new transfer one, and I'm really hoping that this guy isn't going to be a Charlie Staines 2.0, but I've gone for Jarrell Skelton. I think for 500, he even at the Dogs last year when he played his couple of games, God, he doesn't need too much space. He's always going to get line breaks, running meters. Like he just looked like a freak from what he had last year. I think now with the Tigers getting a bit like their backline's a bit better. They're kind of gone away from these centers that don't pass the ball. I don't know. I reckon I reckon a big like a Justin Olam who just tries to run straight over the top of people.
Yeah,
I reckon he could be on for a big year. So he's one for me.
yeah, fair. I hadn't thought about him at all, but yeah, actually, you make some good points there. Yeah, I guess it does depend on a few factors like how they go, I guess, but yeah, not a bad shout.
Yeah. Uh, Next, I've gone for Lukey Metcalf. I
Yeah,
think,
nice.
and that's one for the wires out there. I just think now Johnson's gone. I think last year the whole fact that every other player showed that they can't kick the ball, he's going to get all the kicking meters this year. I think he would have had the whole preseason just working on his kicking game. He's going to sniff all those up, unless he's going to play in the hearts of Tanner Boyd,
Yeah,
which could restrict that. But
mm,
yeah, I don't know. I just reckon big year from him coming back from injury. He looked class,
yeah,
class in stages. So I don't know. I think I'm more hoping for this one than anything.
yeah. No, I quite like the take. I'm a massive Metcalf advocate. I don't know if he's going to get the kicking meters. I mean, I expect it to be Tanner Boyd, and
Mm,
if it is, he won't get the kick meters, but he probably will have more of a. He will be able to run the ball a lot more, which could lead to try assists and tries and line breaks and tackle breaks and stuff. So yeah, I can
yeah.
still. I don't think it's a bad shout, but I don't know whether it will come from kick meters. It depends who his half partner is. If it is someone like Tamati Martin or oh, bloody hell, I hope it's not, but Harris
Yeah,
Tavite.
yeah,
Yeah, he's going to
yeah.
be
Harris
kicking.
Sabita, yeah.
But
Take another year out and write some more poetry, buddy, because fuck your kicking game's not gonna. You're not gonna be getting the kicking meters if I'm fucking coaching. But fair enough.
yeah, but enough said. Don't want to get cancelled.
Um, yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
Got a big
fuck,
Harris
better not.
Tavite
Better.
community, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. We've got heaps of Harris Sabitas out there. And then the last one. I think this one most people should be eyeing this guy up, and I think that's Blase Talangi.
Mm.
I think just him going to this Panthers system, if he is just going to be running on the back of that system, like fuck the,
Oh,
he's
that's
just going
right.
to
Things that happens.
get
It
yeah,
happens.
yeah, true, it happens. He's just going to get so many points for line breaks, try assists, like pretty much every um Panthers try that the centers score just untouched. Like it just comes from tip on. So like yeah, he's gonna. I don't know. I just 458 that system. They're gonna sort out all his like missed tackles and defensive shit as well. So yeah,
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And I like, is he definitely going to get that six jersey? I assume he
I
will.
reckon. I
Yeah,
reckon. I
you
don't
have to.
like. There is a they may start with. Is it Jack Cole?
Yeah, but he's more. Yeah,
Just to Yeah, no, but like just to
yeah,
start it and then like not rush Talangi into it and just get the reps up. But fuck, I mean,
yeah.
just chuck him in there, I reckon. But
I can't see them not playing Talangi. Like, you don't
no,
sign him and then not play him. But some people
no,
reckon he might not. But we'll see. I guess. Um,
yeah, yeah,
they'll find a position for him anyway, even if it was like in the centers or something. But I think he'll be starting in the six.
yeah. I
Um,
don't think I think they're too stacked in the like they can't drop Tungo or Alamosi
Alamo.
after the way that they finished the year.
And even
And
yeah,
then
and then you've
like
got
Casey
McLean.
McLean's going to get the
Yeah,
wing spot, and Tyra's got the other one. So it's like he pretty much is either a six or nothing. So
yeah, for sure. Then they've got the other McLean as well, Jesse McLean. They've got heaps of good back
yeah,
five options. So I guess
yeah,
he'll be a backup
Jesse,
fullback. Yeah, Jesse.
yeah,
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 they'll
yeah,
um if like Edwards went down, then I guess he'd be moved to fullback.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but then he'd
fully,
still
yeah,
well then. So
yeah,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
All right. That's enough waffle. My keepers. So my three keepers that I reckon people should start with. So my first one here is Adam Fanua Blake at 780k. So he, I think, is someone that's going to be unreal this year to own. He's always been, well, the last few years he's been pretty good at the Warriors anyway. But going to the Sharks, he's going to be pretty much doing everything for the pack. And he doesn't play Origin. He'll score tries, he'll offload. So he's someone that you can put in your team from the very start. Yeah, he'll have some down games and whatnot, but he'll probably average about 55 to 60, and you will be able to have him from round 1 to round 27 without having to move him in and out during Origin and that sort of thing. So, yeah, that's my first one.
Nice. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And Sharks are massive flat track bullies as well. So
Yeah,
against those minnow teams, like once they get humming, like he's just gonna have like 300 meters, two tries, and like eight offloads against against like
yeah,
some of those horrific bottom feeder teams.
yeah, yeah. Um, the bottom feeder teams. Do you want to give me a couple bottom feeder teams just so that for the
Oh
fans
no,
out there?
I would hate to. I would hate to. Oh
The
no,
Warriors.
actually, yeah, the Warriors. There's a few bottom feeder fans there for sure.
Alrighty. My second one is a bit of a controversial one, but you'll like it, I think. But a lot of our listeners won't. I've gone Latrell Mitchell at 800k. So the
Mm,
reason for that is the benefit factor. Yes, he'll get a few suspensions and things like that. You're gonna have to
mm,
deal with some bad weeks. When he loses his marbles, but I just think he is the kind of guy that if Bennett gets him going and the system works, I can see him. He could average
yeah.
80, like he 80 or 90. Like
Mm.
he's actually a machine. So yeah, he's more of a real risk, but I reckon a risk worth taking. Um,
Yeah, I think the fact that his last year was so shit, and then
mm,
Bennett coming in right now is just going to be like a olden day teacher vibe. Like he's going to bend him over the table, give him some nice spankings,
yeah.
and he should be on the straight and narrow this year. You'd believe.
What sort of teachers did you have? Far out.
Oh no, just you. My,
No way. You wouldn't
yeah,
have
no,
turned
I
out like that,
completely
mate.
agree with you though. Yeah,
Yeah.
completely agree with you there though.
Yeah, and you're right though. The fact that last year was so bad, I'm surprised it's actually 800k. Like I thought they might
Yeah,
start him
yeah,
at a slightly cheaper price, but I still like it, even though he's
mm,
quite expensive.
yeah,
And
100%.
then my last one, this is someone I always go for, and it's like our Jamie Browns and the big NRL fantasy communities, your Henry Williamses and things like
Henry
that.
Williams, yeah, yeah.
They will probably not like this take, but I always have this guy, and I'll try to justify it. So I've gone Joe Tarpany at 717k. So the reason I like Joe Tarpany is because he's a Kiwi, so obviously just like Fanua Blake, he doesn't play Origin, so you can have him right from round one to round 27. And that was the case for me last year with Joe Tarpany. So having him in round one, I think he was the only guy that I didn't trade him out all year, and I still had him around 27. Yes, he'll have games like with the Raiders being, wee bit inconsistent at times. So he'll have games where he only gets a 30 or a 36 or whatever, but he's also a guy that he can get you an 80. He can be a real nice point of difference player because he won't be highly owned by the Australians and things like that. And yeah, he's a captain this year, so I can see him being even better and playing even more minutes. And I just think he's a he's not your kind of top tier fantasy keeper, but I think he's the kind of guy that you just put in your team in round one. He'll always be between 700k and 820k. He'll average about 55, and you just don't have to worry about him. He also scores real well over the Origin period. So while
Mm,
you kind of Isaiah Yo's, your Payne Haas's, these sorts of guys that are away playing Origin, Joe Tapani often will score 70s and 80s during that Origin period where people were short of players and needing a score. So yeah,
yeah.
I like starting with him and sticking with him throughout.
No, 100%. I know you always love Tarpany just for Rongotai
Yeah,
College
shout
bias
out
as well, but
Rongotai.
that's yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
But no, 100%. I don't think you can ever go wrong with him. Yeah, 100, just a freak of a player. So,
yeah, yep. Thanks, man.
all right,
Appreciate
those are
the
your
support.
three.
Yeah, that's three. Yeah,
Yeah. All right, my first one, maybe not for round one, but going for the Tino trap. I just think for 700k. Doing an ACL in the first or second week last year, like
exactly.
there's a revenge body coming this year. Big minutes. I reckon he's probably going to play at lock now as well. They got RCG,
Mm.
um, RCG Fodawaker, so
Yeah,
him
have
at
to.
lock,
Yeah.
huge minutes. Yeah,
Mm.
I just think for 700k, not for week one, but from then on, yeah.
Oh, you could start with him though. Like, yeah, I don't see an issue starting with him from week one.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, the
yeah,
only
yeah,
downside I see with the Tino is the Origin, but there's so many that are going to be Origin players that people will start with, like Yo and Haas, and he might end up
yeah,
being scoring similar to them. So yeah,
exactly for 130k less or something like that. So
even more. Yeah, with Yo, I think. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Second one, I just think this guy's quite cheap for what he is, and I think last year they messed around with him a bit too much. But Cam Murray for me, like th- his price reflects the fact that they put him on the edge quite a bit, and that drop is like. But when this guy plays in the middle, and I think Bennett likes him in the middle a lot more than um, who was it played like Demetri and
Yeah, I think one of your
freaking
Greek mates. Yeah,
Hornby. Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah,
He was probably the guy that made Maduros and bloody or some shit like that. But fair enough.
yeah,
Yeah, I just think he's a beast. Like
mm,
um, just never misses tackles.
yeah,
Working 150 meters every game. Like yeah, can't go wrong.
yeah. My only concern with him is always, the head knock. He's only ever a concussion away from,
Mm.
being in a bad state. But yeah, if he's on the
Oh, okay,
field,
yeah,
he's on the
yeah.
field.
Let's
Yeah,
let's try not lose all our concussed listeners out there. So
yeah.
yeah.
There's a few as well.
Sorry, just my phone's on 1%. Probably don't need that happening, do we?
No,
Last one.
that's
Last
all right. People
one.
know we're not quite a professional podcast just yet. They enjoy
No,
the
hundred
content.
percent.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's just the voice that matters, not the visuals. Fair enough.
yeah,
Um, I think this one's pretty obvious, but Chinners, Nathan
mm,
Cleary. I think a guy
mm,
that shares some similarities to yourself, but just I think he's got a massive season. And I think like it's the one knock on him is he can never like bash out a full season. So I think this is a year where he's targeting it. All the other big players are kind of out, so they're going to be relying on his longevity this season. So
yeah.
I think he's in for a massive one, but that should be a no-brainer to be fair to all those out there.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I think without Luai, like even if they do start with Talangi, I think having like a new halves pairing, he'll have to lead the way for a bit at the start. So
Mm,
yeah, most people start with Cleary, and yeah, but for similarities with me, I think I'm more of a jaw based Arno than a chin. Like his chin's out here.
yeah,
I'm
true. Sorry.
but like if you
Yeah.
want to, like, it's alright. We can talk about facial features another time.
No,
All
it's all
right.
right. It's just because you called me Greek and I didn't like that. So
Fair enough. All right, so
shout out to all the Greek listeners. Yeah.
genuinely have a few. Thank you very much. But anyway, um, we love our great community. Being
Yeah,
Wellingtonians, of course,
absolutely.
great community.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great food, great food.
yeah.
Uh,
Anything else? Just food.
uh the food's good. Yeah.
All
No,
right.
good culture as well.
Yeah.
Just before we finish, I've actually got a scenario for you, if that's all right.
Oh yeah. Can you remember we've actually forgotten the last couple of episodes when we've done the scenarios to give a shout out to the sponsors to remember which
Oh yeah,
that segment is sponsored by. Yeah, here you go.
yeah. This segment sponsored by Williams Farming, where you go for your agriculture, horticulture, farming, fishing, dairy, um,
Lambing.
any needs. Yeah,
Yeah.
lambing needs. Yeah,
Pigging.
if you need something, they'll have it. So
Yeah.
the scenario here is quite an interesting one. So it's either every single time you go for a piss on the Bears, Todd Carney comes in and bubblers you. So for all those that know, Todd Carney, one of the greats, got caught pissing in his own mouth in a public toilet one time while he was playing NRL, but that happens to the best of us, doesn't it? Or um or in the second one, Katoni Staggs is your podiatrist for the rest of your life. And do you know what a podiatrist is?
I do know. I know
Yeah,
that's meat
yeah,
based. Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out about.
Just for all those Warriors fans out there, a podiatrist is someone that works with feet.
Yeah, yeah, just the
So
Warriors
yeah,
fans. Just everyone else will
yeah,
know what it is. Um,
yeah.
yeah, actually, just shout out to Christian Firth, one of the big fans of the show. He's obviously going to be he's going to be a podiatrist himself. He's going up to Auckland soon, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
just shout
So
out for
maybe
that.
he can get some tips and tricks from Katoni.
Yeah. Uh, okay, I think. Oh, that is an awful scenario, and I'm not going to say that I enjoy, urine and that sort of thing anywhere near my face, let alone my mouth. But I think I'm going to have to opt for the Todd Carney scenario there because the last thing I want is Katoni Staggs touching my feet. He's got a bit of a track record when he touches feet, and the last
It
time I
looks
saw him
pretty
touch,
good though. It looks pretty good from
oh
from the
I,
video that Henry Williams Farmer he used to watch all the time. He looked pretty professional at it.
yeah, I guess he did, but I didn't like it. Looked a bit scary for me, him on the feet. So no, I think I'll have to go for the Todd Carney urinal situation.
Fair
What about
enough, I
what
guess.
about
Yeah,
yourself?
guess golden showers over feet. I guess that's what you're picking, isn't it? I might go. I'll be controversial. I might go Katoni, but if it's just strictly feet and nothing more, like because I think in that other scenario he may have done a bit more. But if
Yeah.
it's just feet, then maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I was assuming that it might not just be the feet, so yeah, I think I'll go for the Todd Carney, but yeah, we might have to leave it there before people try and cancel you, Willie, in London.
Yeah, before Peter Volandis comes over
Mm.
and big notice and buys us out and sues us.
They can buy us out, I wouldn't mind. That'd be good actually.
Absolutely,
All right, so
absolutely.
yeah, that's NRL Fantasy preview show for you punters at home. I've mentioned this a couple of times I think already, but what we're going to do is we're gonna make a community NRL Fantasy League, casting NZ Sport Casting Couch Fantasy League, where if you guys are keen to join, we're just gonna ask that everyone contributes $20, and then there'll be a fine like a monetary prize pool, where the winner would probably see 70% of the prize pool, and maybe the runner up gets 30% or something like that. So stay tuned, and if you're keen on that, then we're hoping to get 20 odd people at least that are keen. So yeah, final thoughts from you over there, man.
Yeah, no, I think probably less I say the best, so we'll
Yeah,
wrap it up there.
yeah, and we will do it for Super Rugby as well, and we'll do a Super Rugby preview similar to this.
Mm.
Yeah, and we'll also be doing maybe like we'll touch on the NRL fantasy stuff weekly or fortnightly, hopefully, similar sort of thing. People to sell, people to buy.
Yeah, yeah, maybe we can just chuck a quick Williams Farming, Jamie Brown segment in every now and then.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, community. Cheers once again, and we'll see you on the next one.